should get going. That we may be made worthy of the promises of Christ. God bless. What would you like?
How are you, dear good wife?
All the better for being greeted so respectfully. But I hope my husband didn't hear you. He's terribly jealous and he could have you whipped. He's the captain here, you know.
You wouldn't happen to know where Lord Hinnek of Kunstad went, would you? He was a guest here.
I don't know. But I hope as far away as possible. That animal almost raised his hand to the Margrave.
What? How did that happen?
A respectable woman doesn't talk about that kind of thing. But if it hadn't been for my husband, he'd have been at his throat, believe you me.
I beg your pardon, milady, but could you tell me what's new around here? I'm asking because I've just arrived and I'd like to know more about this region.
If it's mercenary work you're interested in, I can't help you. You'll have to ask elsewhere.
I beg your pardon, milady, but could you tell me what's new around here? I'm asking because I've just arrived and I'd like to know more about this region.
If it's mercenary work you're interested in, I can't help you. You'll have to ask elsewhere. God be with you. The angel of the Lord declared unto Mary, and she conceived of the Holy Spirit. Hail Mary. And Mary said, Behold, I am the handmaid of the Lord. Be it done unto me according to thy word. Hail Mary. And the word was made flesh, and dwelt among us.
We aren't idle here. My man trained...
Hello, the worth Henry of Skalitz. I'm just holding a discussion with the captain here about his desolate fortress.
That's not how I'd put it. In the end, As mein Großvater said, the strength of a castle is measured by its garrison, and mine is one of the best in the region. What do you say, lad? Am I right?
Aye. I have to admit, the soldiers here look pretty fearsome. I wouldn't want to come up against them in battle.
I get the feeling you'd run instead of facing them, though. Hey?
Leave him be, meine Dame. Nobody with any sense would take on my men.
Now look here, I was just being polite. I'd happily take on your men.
Ach ja?
Do you fancy yourself a knight?
Come, Junge. We'll stuff your clothes with straw, so you don't come to any harm, and let you have the go against one of ours. Pulcock, come here! The first to bleed loses. Take that!
Well, you haven't shown yourself to be very manly, Henry. Thank God I didn't make a bet with the captain.
Well, at least you don't have to go to confession. Gambling is the road to hell.
Don't worry about it, lad. Pulcock has the strength of a bull. He's not easy to defeat.
What?
Ah, nothing. Das ist egal. You know what? Take this shield to help you get over your defeat. At least you'll have something to hide behind. If you get into another fight, God forbid.
I better go and find Zizka. The Margrave is expecting us.
I saw Zizka next to the stables. There was some girl hanging around him.
Do you want to come with us to see Jobst?
Not really. I'll go and pack my things instead. I have a feeling we'll have to leave soon.
Why?
A woman's intuition.
And this scar? It's strange, crooked, like a letter from a fancy book.
This. I fell off the battlements at Luxembourg Castle.
Lord above! From the walls! And were you conquering or defending that castle, sir?
Well, depends on how you look at it. We were storming a wine cellar, you see.
Ah, I do see. Only maybe you shouldn't go around telling people that, sir. It doesn't sound too heroic.
So what? Heroes like to have a drink too, now and again. I've got loads of scars from real battles anyway. Like here, on my other arm. A groom hit me with a crossbow nearby Yitchin. The boy was nearly 15. Poor fella.
That's how I lost my sweetheart.
Someone shot him?
No, he shot someone else.
Ah, I see.
And what about your eyebrow, sir? It seems a bit crooked. Do you have a scar there too?
Aye. I nearly lost my eye.
Also in battle?
No, I was a lad. I made a bet with some friends that I could run all the way down the Devil's Slope without stopping once. That's what we called this one really steep hill. Once you started down it, you either had to run all the way to the bottom, or tumble all the way there.
And you went tumbling?
I did nothing of the sort. I ran down. But as I was celebrating, prancing about like a deer, I tripped on a root. I landed on my head and cracked it open on a stump. An inch or two off, and I'd have lost that eye.
How are things, Captain?
What do you think? I've seen better days. And you, youngster?
Yeah, not so great. I'm feeling pretty battered.
Just wait until you've been through as much as I have.
Nah, don't say that. You still have your strength. A real man of iron.
A damned rusty one, I'd say. But enough chat. I see Jobst has returned to the fortress.
That's why I'm here. They're expecting us. I wanted to take Katherine along too. But she said she'd rather get the horses ready.
She's doing the right thing, and you better run ahead and greet the Margrave. I'll join you shortly.
Are you expecting trouble?
I always expect trouble. Jobst has turned coats more times than I can count. And the way things are these days, I'd rather have horses standing by, even on a visit to my parents.
What about that dry devil of yours? Did you find out where he went?
No, nobody asked him where he was going, but it seems they're hoping it's as far away as possible. I'm not surprised. If I know him, he wasn't the ideal guest.
At least Jobst might know where he is.
He might. To be honest, that's the only reason for talking to him.
Should I really go and see Jobst on my own? He's a Margrave, though.
So what? You already know him better than I do. You met him in Rattay. I only know what I've heard about him.
Well, all right, but he sent for us both. How's it gonna look?
A bit odd, I suppose. But you must understand, I'm doing this for our benefit. The less time I spend with a Margrave in one room, the better.
All right, then. I'll be going, then.
Fucking pay you back.
I'm sorry.
Henry. Where's Captain Zizka?
He got held up.
I received a report that von Bergov's banner is flying in the camp of my dear cousin Sigismund, so I assume the negotiations at Trosky didn't go too smoothly.
No, sir. I don't have good news for you, I'm afraid.
Well, good or bad, I'm sure you have plenty to report. So what happened with von Bergov at Trosky?
Bergov had no interest in our message. By the time we finally arrived at Trosky, he'd already long since made a deal with Sigismund. But of course, he didn't tell Sir Hans and me anything. And on top of that, he used us to do his dirty work. Everything went to hell in the end, and we ended up in a dungeon. Or at least I did. They took Lord Capon away. In fact, that's why we're here. We were following von Bergov's trail.
So I've heard. But I'd be interested to know the details. It's been some time since our meeting in Rattay, and now you appear here by the side of a quite unexpected guest.
Well, it wasn't the best circumstances to meet Zizka in. They sent him to the Trosky region to cause problems, and our paths happened to cross. We crossed swords. I can only thank God we didn't kill each other.
And who was giving Zizka orders? Do you know?
I think it's some Jan Sokol of Lamberg.
That would make sense. He was always quite pig-headed. Enough about Zizka. I also heard something about a pillory and poaching. What the hell did you and Sir Hans get up to?
Things went wrong right from the beginning. We were ambushed, and we lost the letter. Lord Capon and I were lucky to get out of it alive. But no one at Trosky believed that we were messengers.
Von Bergov refused to aid a nobleman in need. That seems pretty low for a man of his stature.
Well, to be honest, Lord Capon didn't really look much like a nobleman. We were ambushed while bathing in a pond, and then we fled through the woods. So we really looked like a pair of beggars.
Ah, that must have been a peculiar feeling for Lord Capon.
You can't even imagine it, Your Grace.
I certainly cannot, in truth. In any case, are you sure there's nothing else you want to tell me?
Well, you should probably know that Istvan Toth was working for von Bergov.
Who's he?
One of Sigismund's cronies. He was causing havoc around Rattay.
Ah, yes. Hanush and Radzig mentioned some such person. They even foolishly let him go.
They had to. They gave him their word.
Yes. Well, it's actually quite heartening that some people still have such naive ideas about the world.
Well, no one let him go this time. He's dead.
Very good. From what I've heard, he was a bandit and a cutthroat. There should be no dealings with his ilk. And do you want to tell me anything else? Besides about Toth?
That's all that happened, sir.
Truly. My court messenger and bearer of tidings, both good and bad, John of Liechtenstein, has mysteriously gone silent. So every piece of information I get now is precious. By the way, you said you were in von Bergow's dungeon. And I can imagine how they treated you there. Tell me, did you reveal anything?
Well, although it wasn't me who told him, von Bergow did get certain information.
What information?
About Liechtenstein. That he's in Kuttenberg. And what he's doing there. I'm really sorry, sir, but... well, they tortured us.
That is truly unfortunate. But you've nothing to be ashamed of. I think it's too much to expect anyone to hold their tongue under torture.
But Lord Liechtenstein... what if they killed him because of us?
John went straight into the lion's den. He knew the risks. Thank you for the news. You're free to go if you want. But I would be glad if you stayed at the fortress. As soon as it's possible, you can join a legation heading for Rattay. I'm sure you already want to go home.
Sir, that's a generous offer, and I appreciate it. But it's not what I want.
If you wish to stay and help here, I'll be glad, of course. I need someone to escort my envoys, and you've proven yourself more than capable.
It's Lord Capon, Your Grace. I came to find out where he is, and rescue him.
A noble thought. But you mustn't worry about Lord Capon. I'm sure von Bergow has him trapped in a gilded cage.
But I made a promise, sir.
I understand, but honestly, Lord Capon is now safer than you or I. The most sensible course now is to wait for the ransom demand.
Margrave.
Ah, Captain Zizka. Henry and I were just discussing Lord Capon.
Yeah, the Margrave thinks he's in no danger, and we should wait for a ransom demand.
As one does.
I wanted to talk to you about something else. I suppose you're wondering why your friend Hinnek, also known as the Dried Devil, isn't here?
Oh, there's plenty of gossip going on around the fortress. You and Pisek refused to grant him asylum.
Asylum is for those in distress, Captain. Hinnek came to burn and pillage. I have quite different plans.
And what might those be, Margrave? Sitting and talking while King Wenceslas rots in a dungeon. What would I expect? Not so long ago, you were conspiring with Sigismund against Prokop, your own brother!
It would be futile trying to explain to you the intricacies of the Luxembourg's dynastic politics. Let me just explain that that was what was called for in the situation. But I assure you that I am now acting in the best interests of this country and of King Wenceslas.
You're acting first and foremost in your own interests. Everyone knows that.
Strong words coming from a man who earns his bread by killing merchants on the road. No offense intended. I applaud your art. The pen is mightier than the sword, but there are times when it's vice versa. Enter!
All ready to leave now, sir?
Good. It's high time. I expect the captain was about to leave anyway. Are you not?
With pleasure.
And you, Henry?
Me? Well, sir, I made a promise.
I understand. I won't attempt to keep you here by force. But bear in mind, I have concluded a very fragile truce with Sigismund, which gives us time to get ready. And if anyone should disrupt my plans with headstrong acts of violence, there will be consequences. Grave consequences. I consider this matter closed. Farewell and good luck.
I get the feeling Jobst didn't make a great impression on you. Are we leaving?
Yeah. And Henry's going with us.
Wait, you'll help me find Capon?
Sure. But we'll need people for that. And information. Katherine, I've got a job for you.
Yes?
Go to Kuttenberg. Find out what happened to Liechtenstein. If anyone knows what's going on in this godforsaken country, it'll be him. In the meantime, we'll go and find Dry Devil and his band.
Good luck. I'd go all the way to Rome to spy if it kept me away from the devil.
Let's go! Stay close. The devil doesn't know you. He should recognize me. Like this.